Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So many beautiful, beautiful things that need to be done in this fantastic little world. Oh, it's finally all gone. Okay, good. I can get rid of that. Awesome. Yeah, so many little things that we need to get going on, need to finish up, need to complete. Last time we did all of our inscribers and processors, and we basically unlocked applied energistics, right? We got the applied energistics unlocked, so we're good to go there. On that note, I made these all into the advanced inscribers, as I explained I would. Now, they're currently not powered, right? We don't have any power to these, anything like that, and this is going to be my one, at least one. I might make more, just in case. But I think the one will work. But this advanced inscriber is for the completion of these items. So we have this beautiful printed drawer with all of the printed items from these four. So once I power those up, it should be pretty darn good. And, you know, I've started that process. The other thing that I made is an ME interface. And what I'm thinking here is we'll probably do patterns in this inscriber to basically print out, you know, the actual like engineering processors and stuff like that. So, but I might change that too. I might just make another 3 or another 2, I guess, is all I would need for the additional like processors instead, just to have them automated and backlogged. So I'm kind of up for debate on that one. I kind of like the idea of just having them available, but we'll figure that out in due time. In due time. I did add a couple of things. We did get an iridium ore, which is cool. So I added that to our induction smelter setup here. And what else did I do? Oh, yes, this. So I moved my ME controller right over to here, as you can see. And I've ran a dense smart cable, or a dense cable, all the way over to our setup over in the tower. Okay, now what this does is this allows us to have a storage bus on our drawer controller. Don't mind the mess, we'll have to clean it up later, but we have a storage bus that I created onto our drawer controller. So what this means is we will have access to all of our loot in all of our drawers as soon as we get a way to access our system, which is really, really straightforward and easy. So let's start that process right now. With Applied Energistics, the best thing that you can make right off the get-go is basically a crafting terminal. Now, to make that is not overly complicated at all in the pack, which is great. It's a very easy crafting recipe. So as you can see, just like so, that gives you an ME terminal, which is great. But the one that we want is an ME crafting terminal, which requires a calculation processor, which I don't have. Well, dang. Well, dang. I thought I had everything, but not quite. That's okay. It's pretty easy for us to make it because we have all of those printed ready to go, right? I can grab 2, I can grab 2, and I can easily throw them in here and get them printed up almost immediately. Oh, what the power. Okay, we had enough for 1. Do we have enough for 2? We do. Okay. Ooh, baby. Just barely. Just barely. All right, good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, so the calculation, the crafting table, and that gives us the ME crafting terminal. Very nice item. Very, very good. Sorry, itchy nose. Much better. Maybe. I don't know. Don't you hate it? Like, the nose is, swear, like, always itchy. And anyways, we're going to place it down like so. And why did I make a second one? That's a great question. But as you can see, we have all of our loot from that storage bus in this system. So we have everything. That is pretty darn awesome. We have access to a lot of goodies. The other thing that I did, I made another one so that I can place it up here. Now, each one of these does use a channel right, on your system, right? So it will require that. Device is missing channel. No, it's not. No, it's not. Are we going to have, like, a loading issue here? Maybe. We might be too far away. It shouldn't be missing channel either way. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it had, like, a little loading glitch. Okay. Anyway, so we have access to all of our items right here, as well as over there now, which is perfect. It helps a ton, right? It allows us to craft things that much faster within this system, right? And we can do it right here, which is awesome too. So the next thing that I want to do is we have all these ugly chests here, and I'm really sick and tired of them. All of this loot needs to disappear, basically, and it needs to be stored accordingly. Now, I could make more drawers, which I will be doing. We do need to fill up this tower, but I want to get rid of all of this stuff that's just been here since day one almost, and kind of sort of just make it better, right? Just make it better. So what we're going to make is an ME drive. This guy is pretty straightforward. I already got all of the items for it. There is a disk drive from Open Computers. I should probably actually be scanning all this stuff. Not going to lie. Not going to lie. I should be scanning at least the majority of this stuff. I haven't scanned it all. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Okay, good. All right, and the ME drive. I already got everything that I needed for it, and there we go. So we have our drive. That works great. Now we need a disk to go in there. Now, the first one that I'm going to do, so one of the things with the disk drives or the storage cells is they can only have 63 different types of items in them, okay? And up to this one, for example, has 4,096 total. This one's 16,000, etc., etc. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a 4K drive to begin with. Now, we should have most of this. I need to make another calculation processor and maybe a little bit more quartz glass. But it should be pretty easy for us to pull this off. So, oh, why am I... See, this is exactly what I mean, right? I got to get used to... I have this wonderful thing now that I should be used to, but I'm not. So, yeah. So, boom. There we go. One, 2, and 3. Excellent. Now, see, it didn't pull those items from the system because we didn't have the processors in there, right? So that's why it didn't really find a way to do it, okay? Same thing here. We're lacking that calculation processor. So what we need to do is we need to go over here. We need to get our redstone and get that in the system as well. The problem is we might not have power for this. It's going to be very close. It's going to be very, very close. Oops, a piece of redstone, please. I think... How do I pull one again? Oh yeah, shift right click. Shift right click. There we go. All right, hopefully it's enough. I think it should be. I think each one takes like, yeah, 800 or some unique number anyways. But yeah, we'll have to get those back up and running and operational as soon as possible here. All right, so that is that. We can come back over here. We can throw in our calculation. That gives us the 4K. Beautiful. Now this guy we can basically make into our disk drive. We could also look to upgrade this further, but for now we're just going to do the disk drive itself. Excellent. So now we have some storage. I think for the most part I'm going to keep my disk drives up here as well. I ran that entire long pipe over here, and the reason I did that is so that we would have, you know, the capabilities of basically some pretty strong channels over in this area, right? So when I come down here like this, oh man, how much of this did I run? I ran a whole bunch, apparently. Okay. That's not ideal. That's not ideal. Neither is the fact that all of this is like this. Why did I do it like this? Why did I do it like this? I don't know. I don't know why I did it like this. It's kind of a mistake on my end, but that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, like I started with the dents down here, which really I needed to start much higher up. So let's just remove some of this. I'm probably going to need to make more dense cable because we need better access to our channels higher up than that. Mind you, it's not too bad though. It's really not that bad. So, yeah, just one of those things, I guess. I can't get through there now. Okay. So that's a dark spot. It's fine. Anyways, so there's a little bit of improvements that still need to go with our wiring system. But what I'm thinking is we need to have our drives somewhere in here. Now, I don't know if I need them to be visible, but I kind of want them to be. You know what I mean? I don't know that I need them to be, but I kind of want them to be. So, maybe we can do this right over here. This anvil, this furnace, right? Bye-bye, bye-bye. Very good. Maybe we can come over right here, right? Because we have, they would ultimately go right in this spot. And can we just kind of, sort of, give ourselves a little, how do you do? I think we can. I think we can. So if this guy comes across like this, right? Nope, that's too low. Kind of like so, right? And then we come over here, and we kind of go like so. Oh, am I one short? No, I'm literally one short. I don't. Oh, okay, good. Woo, saved, saved, saved. But basically, we're gonna go like that, and that will be our ME drive right there. Good stuff. So those are all online, so that should be good. Let's just sleep off the nighttime here quickly. Very nice. And I have my drive. Perfect. So once I put my drive in here, it's empty still. Nothing crazy has happened so far, right? But what we can start to do is we can start putting other things in the system, okay? Now, these are things that we do not want to have in our drawers. Surprise, surprise. So the main thing that I want to do is definitely be able to filter that out. And that'll be utilized mostly through this ender chest. So the ender chest is going to basically try to store as much as possible in the drawer controller. And then we'll need like a backfill where if it doesn't fit in the drawer controller or it doesn't have a home, it then goes into our ME system. And you can do all that with a priority-based system. But as you can see, I can put in these items, for example, very easily into there. And what happened is those actually ended up in this drawer. So we have 5 different types of things in that drawer. Pretty cool. Pretty cool if you ask me anyways. So what we can do is we can start more or less utilizing this by, you know, placing some of these random items especially into these drives, okay? Now, the items that I'm looking to place in there first and foremost are my ME systems. Okay, so all of the stuff that we need for our applied energistics stuff, I want to have in there first, and then we'll deal with the rest later. Okay, and the reason for that is I want to make sure that we're using some items that might have more than just a single, right? I want to do items that are stackable more so than not, right? So I'm not going to put like sludge refiners and stuff like that in there because we're not stacking those items. Whereas all of this glass and stuff like that, a little bit more so. The hardened iridium, you know, same thing. We can stick that one in there. The tall slimy grass maybe. But all of these little tools and these RF heating coils, stuff like that, we're not going to be putting in there for now, okay? Those are kind of one-offs, whereas this is a 4K drive, right? We can store up to 4,000 items in here, so we want items that will be able to stack up. Are items that, you know, we're going to need stacks of eventually, okay? So that's one of the things that that I'm taking into consideration here as well. All right. Outside of that, though, let me figure out some of this stuff and what all I want to put in there, because there's a lot of different items that I have, and we can start putting them in there accordingly. So yeah, but a lot of this stuff I'll put away. Might need to make a few more disk drives and whatnot, and we'll be back to review afterwards. All right, so one of the most important things, in my opinion, that we can do as well is basically getting ourselves the, basically a way to facade our items, right? And for the most part, it's pretty darn easy to do so. So basically, you just need, I'm not going to use tin, we'll use iron because we have a whole bunch of that. But basically, we're going to make some cable anchors as much as we can. And these guys are very easy to utilize, so we basically go like that. I think I've put in almost all of my andesite. Yeah, I think it was also over there, right? So if we just kind of search, we have our andesite blocks, right? Pretty straightforward. We can put them in there, and we can get ourselves a few facades. Very nice, very nice. And we can apply those facades to our cabling wherever we see fit, so that we can get our stuff accordingly. Okay? Pretty straightforward, nothing too crazy going on here. But it's really nice because it allows us to kind of complete and finish things a little bit nicer than what I would typically believe to be possible, right? Same thing here. We can kind of come in and go with our anchor. There we go. Like so on our smooth white facades. And we can kind of complete up and finish up our area over here as well. Now, the best thing about all this is we are actually in the process of pretty much linking together our stuff, right? That's the biggest thing here. That's a little darker. Oh well, I guess. I guess it's an oh well. But yeah, so what we can do is basically we have our items linked together, so we can craft things a little bit easier. We can do all of that stuff a little bit easier than what we once did. For example, I can easily now grab a cable out of our system here, whether it's a smart cable or just a glass cable. Nothing too serious there. We can even grab like dense cables. I don't think I have any. All of that type of stuff. We can also make dense cables, right? So these guys here, those are smart. We just need covered, right? Covered cable. Boom. I can craft them just like that. That easy peasy, okay? So there's a lot of nice benefits to having the system connected up, right? Which I think most of you are probably aware of. Now, one of the big things with ME is a pretty easy big thing too. One of the biggest things is each side of these can do up to 32 channels. So what we want to do is we want to be putting our dense cables out each side of this ME controller on all sides where possible, right? I think that makes pretty good sense anyways. So I hope you guys understand that as well. So when I'm talking about my system over here, I don't want to, start reinventing the world here if we don't have to, right? We have our small little cable here. What we want to be doing is we want to run our dense cable all the way over to here. So I need a ton more dense cable. Now, this poses a couple of problems. It really does. We do not have much for wool, right? If we look at our wool supply, we got a little bit. We do have a little bit. I shouldn't say we don't have much, but we got a little bit. But we need a lot more, right? Now, luckily, I can pull the quartz out of here now and put it in our pulverizer this easy peasy. And we can kind of time in a bottle warp speed that to get some of the nether quartz dust a little bit faster, right? And that way, things like ME cable and stuff like that is a lot easier for us to make. We have access to glass at all times. you know, that type of stuff is all already been automated from before. We already did all that, right? So that's pretty easy for us to do. Then we can go with our cabling accordingly. Let's get the right ones, though. I don't want to use my pure ones just yet. So there we go. And we can get a whole bunch of cabling, right? Boom, 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 boom. 4 stacks, basically. Pretty straightforward. Very easily done overall. Now, this makes everything that much better. It really does. And the reason being is we can kind of capitalize on this so much faster than what I was doing before, right? So now I can get some dense cabling, 37, just like that. So what we can do is we can jump back down here, get trapped between our stuff because all my stuff's a mess, cabling-wise, so that's fine. And we can actually run our next dense cable around and connect it up to our system. Now, the best thing about this is all of these should have power, which they do. Look at that. We are powering up and we are working here. And those printed logic circuits are ending up in there automatically. Very good. We can also upgrade these systems in due time, but not right now. So we'll leave that for now. And let's see, is that really about it? I think that's really about it. I'm going to do that and that. It won't make a difference. I can't get under it anyways. This is janky. This is very, very janky. So yeah, anyways, I gotta fix some of this stuff, but we'll deal with it later. I'll deal with it later. This is pretty easy to fix. We'll just run across. But yeah, so I need to do all of this cabling and such and kind of improve things a little bit. There's a lot of wiring and whatnot that we're going to be trying to improve. Oh boy. Oh boy. That's bad. That's bad. Yep. Very, very bad. It's fine. It's fine. We're good. We're good. We're fine. Okay. Anyways. So there's a lot of things that we need to kind of improve and tweak as we go here. But yeah. So let me get to work. I'm going to keep working here. I had a feeling that was going to happen. And then I placed that in the wrong spot. There we go. Good enough, right? Torch. There we go. Okay, good. But yeah, so I'm going to continually be repairing this, apparently. And we will be back shortly. Once I get a couple more things wired up, I want to finish automating up those processors, too. Alright, so I have my priority system set up adequately here. And the reason being is I have this set to a priority of plus 1,000. So basically any item that I put in here is going to try to put it into the drawer controller first before it puts it in our storage cell. So that's really, really good. So anything that we have or anything like that we already have storage for. So for example, let's just get a good example here. So I have a stack and 48 of sawdust, right? Now, if I place this sawdust in here, it's going to go back over here. We still have a stack and 48, and it doesn't utilize up our drive space. So our primary storage is still all of these drawers, and then our secondary storage is our disk drives. So that's really, really nice. It makes for sorting and all of that type of stuff easy as well. So as we go, we can kind of capitalize. Now, all of this stuff here, I do want to have drawers for. That's kind of the purpose. All of this stuff will end up in the drawers and then get auto-processed. Whereas anything that I'm putting in otherwise will not be that case, right? So all of these computer chips, for example, you know, these are something that, like, yes, okay. These I don't want to have a full drawer for or anything like that. They can go in the drives, right? Whereas things like plates and stuff like that, I would prefer to have, you know, them in a drawer, you know, so that we can get things going a little bit more readily. But sadly enough, I don't really have a drawer for plates or an automated system for our plates to make it back to here, right? We've kind of been lacking that for the most part. So those are some of the little things that I want to try to figure out as we go here. So yeah, there's a little bit of improvements that we're probably going to have to do in due time to make this thing work. Okay. Now, luckily I do have enough for another drive, so that should appease us for quite some time, right? But all of these one-off items I'm definitely avoiding putting in for now. You know, these sea serpent scales, I'm fine with putting these in there. Saddles can go in. All of that type of stuff can go in this system. But there are a few items, all these one-off Ender IO and whatnot, I'm not sure what we're going to do about those at this point in time. I'll have to figure all that out in the next little bit. The other thing, too, I have kind of thought about it. I definitely want to have a drawer for our processing chips. Okay, so I want to have all of our chips and everything in a drawer or a drawer-like system. Now, I do have a drawer controller here that I made a while ago. So we have an extra drawer controller, and I thought, what a better way to use this than to get ourselves set up accordingly, you know, to get this thing done, right? So what I want to do is I want to get another storage bus. So we can get that pretty easily once I find it here. Import. I should probably just do it this way. Storage bus, right? Storage bus ME. Beautiful. All right, we don't have any of that. Great. But guess what we do have? We do have sticky pistons. I'd prefer to not use pink slime, though. That would be swell. We can use the green stuff. That's a lot cheaper. Okay? We'll make a couple just for now. The ME interface. Do we have everything? Oh, we do. Look at that. I'll make a couple of those. Why not? And let's make ourselves a storage bus. Very good. Very good. All right. So what that'll do for us is now we have a drawer controller. We have an ME storage bus. So we can kind of emulate this same setup, but for all of our processors. Now, we do not need, I might be wrong in this statement, that many, right? I think we're only going to need a couple of, you know, like a 64 stack of processors. Again, I could be mistaken in saying this, but I think that's all that we really require. So I would like to get a drawer. I think it's a 4x4 or a 2x2. Yeah, let's get a 2x2 drawer and get that going right away here. So let's find the drawer. Boom, boom, boom. Framed. Beautiful. Oh, that's so much easier than grabbing all the stuff and finding all the things. And look at that. Done. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, that's beautiful. I like it. I like it a lot. Look at that. That was so easy. It was so easy to just click on things. That is great. I'm very, very happy. Very, very happy. All right, cool. So that is awesome. We have some pretty good and efficient ways of doing things. This is good news. Very, very good news. Okay, I'm going to throw that guy down there. These, I needed more 2s for over there. This guy, I guess we can just place down a couple more, right, of the 4s. We'll throw 2 down here. I mean, adding to our drawer system, not really a bad thing. It's really not. So over here, we're going to come on over, and this guy is going to be, you know what? I think I'm going to move that bottom one. Yeah, I think we're going to move the bottom one. So let's take our packing tape, and let's move this guy as well, okay? So what we're going to have is this guy's going to be right here. That's fine. And this guy's going to be above it, locked as well. Beautiful. And then we'll have our drawer controller down below. So that one will be our insert. We will be inserting everything we have or need on that system, which works great. And then over here, we're going to have our storage bus that we just made onto that controller. All right, and this is going to have a priority of $9.99. We'll put it one less than the other one. Actually, No, we'll put it one more, right? So it's going to try to put stuff in these drawers first. That'll work great. That'll be perfectly fine. Let's quickly grab ME cable to wire this up accordingly. We'll go like so and like so. Excellent. And voila, we should have all of our printed stuff in here now. Or not. Hello? Why don't we? Printed. That should be connected. There we go. Just took a second to update. So yeah, so now we have all of our printed stuff in our system as well. But equally, once I place in these guys, we will have access to all of our engineered stuff too. So this is really, really good. This is hugely advantageous for us to kind of build and process this stuff a little bit better. A little bit better. And the best part about it is with the ME controller system, we should be able to automate this whole setup accordingly all through that storage bus, right? So we don't need an extract there. We already have access to it through our table, right? This one here, we also technically do not need an extract for because we have access to it through our table, right? And this guy, we have an ME interface on it, so we can ultimately do some crafting with that. But that's going to require a couple of different things, and one of those is our patterns and stuff like that. The pattern terminal, you know, all that type of stuff we'll need to get, and also like an auto crafting setup, which hopefully we can get to before too long, and go from there. So anyways, that is going to be it for today. That's it for the episode for today. We're going to leave it at that because we got a lot of other stuff that we need to kind of get around to and clean up and tidy up. Okay? So that's it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. We now have this beautiful thing. There's also a wireless terminal, if I'm not mistaken. This guy here, wireless crafting terminal, which would be amazing to grab as well. And it's not too bad, I don't think. No, it's pretty easy. Yeah, it's pretty easy for the most part to make, but it does consume a lot of stuff. Is this one better? I can never remember. Wireless crafting terminal to wireless crafting terminal. I think they're the same, right? And then creative. Yeah. Which we could get down the road, for sure. But anyways, yeah, via security terminal. Okay, perfect. So we can definitely go down that road as well as we progress. There are a couple other things that I also want to get started on, like blood magic, stuff like that, and even mystical agriculture. So I think next time we will try to get some of this a little bit more ready to go. And by that, I mean just having more of things available more than anything else. And then we can kind of proceed from there. So, yeah, all good things. Thank you all so much. Really do appreciate it. And leave a like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Really do appreciate it. Have yourselves a good one. Bye-bye for now. See ya.